There were nights you stared at the ceiling, eyes wide open, heart heavy with questions no one could answer. The world saw your smile, but never your tears. No one knew how many times you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," into your pillow. You've screamed silently in places where no one heard. But I did. I saw it all. I watched you break, then gathered the shattered pieces just to keep going. You thought you were alone, forgotten, invisible. But heaven never turned its back on you. I was there. I still am, and I have something to say now. I saw the storm that never made the news, the heartbreak you buried beneath responsibilities, the betrayal that still burns when the world is quiet. Every tear you wiped before anyone could see, those were not lost. They were collected, witnessed, cherished. You walked through fire thinking no one cared, but I watched every step. I counted every sacrifice. You survived more than you give yourself credit for. The silence you've been drowning in, I'm about to shatter it, because this is not how your story ends. You are not forgotten. You are not finished. You are not beyond hope. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world alone, and I never expected you to. That pain you thought was proof of abandonment, it was actually proof of transformation. You didn't break because you were weak. You broke because you were growing, becoming who you were meant to be. I didn't stop it because I knew what would come from it. Strength, compassion, purpose. I've been with you through every dark night. I'm with you now, and I'm not leaving. What comes next isn't survival. It's revival. Your story is shifting, and I'm walking with you through it. PHGN2, you were forged in fire. The fire didn't come to destroy you, it came to reveal you. Every hardship, every moment of despair wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You've walked through rejection, disappointment, loss, and yet here you are, breathing, standing, stronger than before. Don't underestimate what you've endured. The scars you carry are not signs of failure. They're proof that you refused to give up. The very pain you thought would end you actually carved the strength that defines you. You were not forgotten in the flames. You were being formed, refined, forged into someone the darkness fears, someone the world needs. The nights that left you broken were not wasted. I was in the furnace with you, watching, shaping, whispering truths you couldn't yet hear. You thought the silence meant I left, but silence was the sound of me working. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared for more, for purpose, for power. Every no you received redirected you to something greater. Every delay was divine timing. You were never losing, you were learning, becoming someone with depth, with fire in their soul, and compassion in their eyes. That strength in you now, it's not accidental. It was earned in fire. Do you feel different now? You should, because you are. You're not the same person who entered the storm. You've changed, hardened in the best way, softened in the right places. You love deeper because you've been broken. You forgive quicker because you know what it's like to need mercy. That's why I allowed the fire, not to burn you down, but to burn away what was holding you back. Fear, shame, doubt, all of it melted. What's left is real, raw, radiant. You've been through hell, but you didn't come out empty. You came out glowing, and I'm not done yet. You looked around and saw no one. You thought God must have left, but I never did. When your voice broke in prayer, when you collapsed on the bathroom floor, when you stared blankly out the window, I was there, closer than your breath. I heard the words you couldn't say. I caught every tear that fell unseen. Even when you stopped talking to me, I never stopped listening. You may have felt abandoned, but I never left your side. Not for 1 second. You weren't alone in the silence. I was holding you through it quietly, steadily, completely. You expected me to show up with thunder, with a miracle, with fireworks. But I came softly, through the warmth in a hug. The stranger who smiled at you. The song that felt like it was written just for you. I showed up in quiet ways because that's where healing happens. You kept asking for signs, and I kept sending whispers. You missed them not because you weren't worthy, but because your pain was too loud. But that's okay. I'm patient. I waited. I'm still waiting. And now I'm speaking loud enough to silence your fears. You were never forsaken. You may feel forgotten, but your name is etched into eternity. I've carved it on the palms of my hands. Every breath you take is known. Every step you make, I walk with you. There was never a moment I looked away. Not during your shame, not during your sin. Not even when you pushed me away, I stayed. Because I love you beyond your understanding. Not because you're perfect, but because you're mine. And nothing you've done or ever will do can change that. My presence isn't based on your feelings, it's based on my promise. And I always keep it. You weren't just rescued to survive, you were called to shine. There's a reason you're still here. A reason the darkness couldn't keep you. A mission embedded in your soul long before you were born. The pain you endured wasn't random, it carved space for power, compassion, purpose. You've been entrusted with something divine, the ability to carry light into the places others fear to enter. Your story isn't just for you, it's a lifeline for someone else. I didn't bring you through the fire just to sit in the ashes. I brought you through it to spark others into healing. You were made for impact, and the world is waiting. Every room you enter shifts when you carry love instead of fear, hope instead of bitterness, light instead of judgment. You don't need a pulpit or a platform, you are the message. When you forgive, people notice. When you rise again, others believe they can too. That is your ministry. Your very existence is proof that redemption is real. The world is desperate for authenticity, and your scars speak louder than sermons. You were not just healed to feel better. You were healed to be dangerous to darkness. So rise, not in arrogance, but in assignment. You are a vessel of my light, a carrier of my heart. The mission isn't to be perfect, it's to be available, to walk into broken places and remind people they're not too far gone. You've been there, you know the ache. That's why I trust you. I've equipped you, not with religion, but with fire, with empathy, with real power. You are my ambassador in this weary world. When you speak, chains will break. When you love, lives will shift. You don't need to feel ready. I already chose you. Now, go. I see the war behind your smile, the invisible fight between faith and fear, hope and despair, forgiveness and rage. You've been battling demons no one knows exist. Lies whispered in the dark. You're not enough. You failed. Too much. You'll never be whole. I hear them too. But let me be clear. Those voices are not mine. They come to steal your joy, distort your worth, bury your calling. But I've given you a sword called truth. You are not weak. You're weary. There's a difference. And I haven't just watched this battle, I've stepped into it with you. The shame you carry, I've already paid for it. The rage you've swallowed, I can hold it. You don't need to pretend with me. I know the real war isn't out there, it's in your mind, in your memories, in the echo of every word that broke you. But I've come to rewrite those scripts. You are not unworthy. You are not damaged. You are not disqualified. I don't just see your wounds, I understand them. And I'm not disgusted by your mess. I step into it. I sit with you in it. I fight through it until you see what I see. You're not losing because you feel tired. You're fighting harder than ever, and that matters. I've seen you choose peace when revenge screamed louder. I've watched you forgive when you could have hated. That's what real strength looks like, not applause, but obedience in secret. And every time you thought about giving up but didn't, that moved me. You may think you're hanging by a thread, but I'm holding the thread. I'm not asking you to win this alone. I'm asking you to keep showing up, heart open, fists shaking if they must, but present. Because I'm right here, fighting with you. You've carried so much for so long. Grief, guilt, bitterness, fear. You've worn them like armor, thinking they'd protect you. But instead, they've only made you heavy, weary, hardened. And I'm not angry about that. I understand why. You held on. It was survival. But now, I'm asking you'll let go. Let go of what's crushing your soul. That pain was never yours to carry alone. Let me take it. Let me be the one who holds what's too much for your hands. I'm not here to judge your scars. I'm here to heal them, but only if you'll release them. Let go of the guilt you rehearse every night. Let go of the shame that keeps whispering you're not worthy. That's not your voice, that's your wound speaking. And I'm here to silence it. You're not too broken. You're not too late. There is no amount of darkness that my light cannot reach. But you have to open your hands. You can't hold on to control and expect freedom. You can't clutch regret and expect peace. You've prayed for change. This is how it begins. With surrender, with trust, with choosing to believe I'm strong enough to carry what you can't. You were never meant to fix yourself. I never asked you to. I never said you had to be perfect, only honest, only willing. This isn't about performance. It's about proximity. Let me come close. Let me into the dark corners you've kept locked away. I don't just want the cleaned up version of you. I want the real you, the angry you, the exhausted you, the doubting, disappointed, devastated you. That's the one I came for. And when you let go, you'll find I never did. I've been here the whole time, waiting for the moment you'd finally rest in me. This is where it changes. Not because your situation shifts instantly, but because your heart does. For the first time, you're not fighting me or trusting me. And that shift shakes the heavens. The moment you stopped pretending, the moment you whispered, I can't do this alone, everything started moving. Healing doesn't always begin with a miracle, it often begins with surrender, with the sound of a soul collapsing into grace. You're not weak for letting go. You're wise. Because in that moment, you didn't lose control. You gave it to the only one strong enough to hold it. There's a light flickering again where there used to be only numbness. Can you feel it? It's small, but it's alive. That's hope. That's me. The darkness thought it won, but light always finds a way in, especially through cracked hearts. You're starting to breathe again. Not just survive, breathe. With purpose, with peace. I'm not just patching up your wounds, I'm remaking you from the inside out. Stronger, softer, bolder. The fire didn't burn you down, it burned away what didn't belong. And now, what remains is pure, sacred, ready. This is the beginning of becoming who you truly are. The enemy wanted your collapse to be your conclusion, but I've turned it into your rebirth. What you thought was the end is the start of something holy. I'm not rebuilding the old you, I'm revealing the real you. The you that's not afraid to love again, to try again, to dream again. You've mourned long enough. It's time to rise, not in strength alone, but in presence, in purpose. This is your turning point, a line in the sand, the moment where ashes become beauty, where tears become oil, where broken becomes chosen. You're not just healed, you're commissioned. You've healed enough to walk again. Now rise not with pride, but with purpose. You are no longer the wounded. You are the witness. You are the one who knows what it feels like to be lost and what it means to be found. Stand in that truth. Where your scars like armor, you are proof that darkness doesn't get the final word. The same pain that nearly broke you is now your platform. You don't need a title to make impact. You just need to show up, fully, authentically, unapologetically. The world is waiting for the light you've been given. You don't have to feel ready. Obedience isn't about confidence, it's about trust. Just take one step, one act of faith. Speak kindness where hate is expected. Offer peace where conflict brews. Love the unlovable. Forgive the unforgivable. That's how we win. Not with noise, but with presence. Every time you choose light, you push back the dark. Don't underestimate what happens when you show up healed. You carry something eternal. Now, it's not about changing the whole world. It's about changing the moment you're in. Rise not just for you, but for the ones still buried in battles you've already overcome. Let your life preach louder than any sermon. Let your joy be rebellious. Let your peace confuse your enemies. You are not a victim, you are a vessel. You are my living proof that grace is real, that transformation is possible. Don't shrink back. Don't apologize for surviving. This is your commission. This is your charge. Rise, step into the light and bring it with you wherever you go. I'm not behind you anymore. I'm beside you, and I will go before you. What you carry now is holy, sacred, dangerous to darkness. You are no longer who you were. Now go live like it. This isn't just about you, it never was. Your healing, your freedom, your victory, it echoes. It sets a path for those who come after you, your children, your friends, strangers you'll never meet. Every stronghold you've broken becomes one less battle for someone else. That's legacy. That's kingdom impact. When you choose forgiveness, you break generational chains. When you walk in truth, you pave highways through the wilderness. You are not just living for today, you're lighting torches for tomorrow. The ripple effect of your faith will outlive you. You were never just meant to be rescued, you were meant to lead. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs honest ones, healed ones, brave ones. That's you. You've been through fire and still chose love. That makes you rare, needed, dangerous to despair. The strength you've built in silence will now speak loudly in the lives of others. Don't underestimate your influence. Every time you rise, someone else gets permission too. Every step of boldness you take, every kind word, every act of grace becomes a seed planted in someone else's story. You may never see all the fruit, but heaven keeps record. Legacy isn't built in applause, it's built in obedience. And this legacy doesn't end with your last breath, it multiplies. Your light lives on in the hearts you touch, the wounds you help heal, the truth you embody. Heaven doesn't measure impact by platform size, but by the lives shifted when No one's watching. You're leaving more than memories, you're leaving momentum. And that momentum will become a movement of light, of hope, of healing. So keep going, keep loving, keep choosing the higher road. Your legacy is not some dates now. Every decision to rise creates space for another soul to breathe. You're not just living history, you're making it. Even now, with all you've been through, I'm still here. Closer than breath, nearer than thought. You've questioned, doubted, run, wept, but I never left. I'm not intimidated by your questions or exhausted by your emotions. I don't love a cleaner version of you. I love you now, completely, eternally. I'm not holding your past against you. I'm holding your future in my hands, and nothing can snatch it away. I didn't bring you this far to abandon you. I'm in it for the long haul. Forever means forever. This isn't temporary comfort. It's covenant, you and I. We're not done. When you wake up in fear, I'm there. When you walk into rooms feeling unseen, I see you. When you feel too tired to pray, I intercede for you. You are never out of reach. I surround you like oxen unseen but essential. I'm not just the God of the mountaintop. I'm God in the valley, in traffic, in your kitchen, in the middle of your messy humanity. I am not embarrassed to be with you. I'm honored I chose you before you chose me. And if you ever forget that, remember, my love doesn't depend on your strength, only on my promise. So walk forward, not with fear, but with fire. You carry my light now, not just to survive, but to shine. The storms will come, but they will not sink you. The battles will rage, but they will not break you. Because I am with you, I will never leave, never forsake, never go silent. Heaven backs every step you take in faith. And when this life ends, eternity begins, and we'll walk together still. This is not a goodbye. This is your beginning, a new chapter, a divine partnership. You and I forever. Now rise, beloved. Your story is just getting started.